Level 1.
Okay, so the reason for this video is a couple of things. One is I have created a new single stroke video play along, levels 1 through 5. And I've tried to improve on some of the existing ones out there that are really popular by modernizing the sounds a little bit, by adding little tips and tricks that you can read while you're playing. And I mean, they're good. If you follow these things that I have on the screen when you're playing, they will improve your single stroke roll. And also, I have counted everything throughout the video is counted as a 16th note, and you can see the tempo that you're playing. So 1 E-anda, 2 E-anda, 3 E-anda, 4 E-anda. I feel like this is a really effective way to work on the single stroke roll because we all can count 16th notes. It's a little difficult to count 32nd notes. So these are just some updates and improvements to the single stroke roll videos that are out there. But I'm going to start using this one. There'll be a link to it in the description below, and you can start using it as your daily single stroke roll play along. Today I'm going to talk about, if you're coming in with me for a drum lesson, I've been teaching for about 15 or more years, and if you're coming in for a lesson for kind of the first time and we're talking about single stroke, these are some of the things we cover. So starting with how to hold the stick. And there's a couple of ways to hold the stick, and there's a couple of ways to different techniques. There's the finger technique and the wrist technique and different things we can do. But today we're going to talk about what I call the wrist technique. And the wrist technique, the stick is diagonal across the hand as opposed to the gorilla grip like this. It's a little more like that. And I'm going to recommend, this is not an absolute, but I'm going to recommend that your number one, your pointer finger, hang out right here, right? That it's not really doing much. And that the fulcrum of your stick happens on the second finger at the second joint. So primarily it looks like this and this. Now, if you don't know what the fulcrum is a balance point on the stick where it bounces more than sort of any other point on the stick. And on these sticks, there's a little flag on there where I can put my thumb, and I know that's about the fulcrum. But your stick should bounce on the head something like this. That's a pretty good indicator that I'm at the fulcrum. If I'm way back here, it does this. And if I'm way up here, it does this. So, sweet spot, the bouncy fulcrum part looks like that. Okay, but I'm gonna have the fulcrum kind of on my second finger right there. Why? Why are we doing that? This is something I've discovered over the years of playing and watching other great drummers, that if this finger is wrapped around this stick and you're trying to use your wrist like this, then it adds extra tension from all the way from around the second, third joint, beyond the knuckle to the back of the hand. And if you grip your stick like this, and then you try doing this with your wrist, you will feel it. This is really limiting my motion. By having that finger hanging out there, and by wrapping my pinky around the back of the stick like this, then it feels very easy to move my hand in this wrist position. If you want to check your wrist position, you can take your other stick, very gently lay it on top of your wrist, and your wrist should be moving up and down without your arm moving much. Your arms are moving around the set. Your arms are there to facilitate your hands moving around the set. Nothing wrong with moving the arms, but what we don't want is to look like this. This is not what we're after. We're after this for now, right? And we'll talk later about if I'm using the finger technique, I do use my first joint, and we'll talk about that in another video. But for today, single stroke roll is going to look like this. So with that said, another trick I want to tell you about YouTube videos and about playing along this video, if you're a brand new player, slow the video down. Don't start necessarily at full speed. So with my new players, I like to start them at 50% speed. So you go down to the little gear icon on YouTube that you'll see on your screen, and I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to go to playback speed, and I'm going to click on 50% speed, and it's going to sound a little funny, but it will help us slow it down. Let's try this first. So watch my hands. I'm going to be staring at my hands, and I'm going to try to keep them even and looking about the same. Okay, so my main focus there was staying in sync with the computer. My right hand, or my leading hand, which happens to be my right hand in this case, always being with the cowbell. Dunk, 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 right? Keeping my hands so they're even in height. So I'm not doing this. And lastly, I'm really watching my hand. Well, not last, but another thing is I'm really watching my hands, and I'm trying to have them look about the same. So new players tend to, one hand is kind of doing something and the other hand's kind of doing, new players tend to have, they're all over. So it takes time to develop this, but I would like my hands to look kind of the same. So, the grip and the motion and the position of the hands, which is for now is what I'm going to call the American grip. Here's the German grip. Here's the American grip. Here's the French grip. So let's just keep it with around Americanish to German, right around that vicinity. One more thing I'm looking at is I am targeting. So on this pad, you may not be able to see it in this light, but I have little circles drawn that are about that big around. I think I use like maybe $50 or something, but anyway, I have these little circles, and I use those for targeting. So I'm sort of have some target on your head that indicates where you want to hit the stick, so that we're not just all over the pad. If you don't have a target, then you're not aiming for anything. It could even be like a little dot. You can put a little dot with a Sharpie in the middle, and you can just sort of stay on the outside of that dot. Just have a target. Okay, let's do another one of these, and if I'm gonna speed this back up to full speed so you can kind of see the tempo here and what's going on with that. The second one is 96 beats a minute. 1, 2, and here's how I count this, by the way. I count it like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and stop. So I say and stop for the 8th measure, just as a way to just kind of visualize when to stop. So it's 8 measures and then you stop. So I think that's enough for today. I just wanted to introduce this new play along video that I've created. If you've played along with some of the other ones, you're already hearing how cool the drums sound, the advantage of having tempo on the screen, the advantage to be able to now think about this as 16th notes, 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a. To me, it's a lot easier to conceptualize what we're doing than trying to imagine 30-second notes. I'll do a video at some point about, I can explain to you how to internalize 30-second notes within just a few minutes, but they're very difficult to count, so it's easier, I think, as you're working on the single stroke to think of it as 16th notes. And also, keep in mind, try this wrist stroke that I'm doing. Basically it looks like this. Looks like this. You'll notice just kind of like review this video, check out how I'm using the pinky and the fingers and things like that. And let me know what you think about the play along in the comments. Subscribe. I'm going to be doing lots more of these videos about how to play the single stroke roll. And I hope that you'll bookmark and save this play along video, the single stroke play along video, and it will become something that you do every day. I'll say one more thing in closing here. If you play along with this video, it takes 5 minutes. If you play along with this video every day for 6 weeks, I promise you will see a big difference in your hands and everything. Your timing, because you're playing with a metronome, the level of comfort with how you're playing and holding the sticks, everything will improve. So try that. Try playing along with it every day for 6 weeks, and let me know how it works out for you. Talk to you soon.